Howdy, and welcome to the Lost Rider podcast. It's an honor and privilege to address you in the capacity of an interviewer, reporter, and media member. Too many modern media outlets have forgone the integrity and responsibility required of credible information sources. What you will receive here are straightforward discussions with legislators, agency leaders, biologists, engineers, doctors, and countless other experts that have the answers to questions often circulated as kitchen table issues. The title Lost Rider may be thought of literally as well as in the metaphorical sense. While there has been the instance that I was momentarily a little turned around at night in a wilderness area, the idea of being a lost rider in life, well, that fits most folks at some time. These renderings are coming to you in the form of the 25-year-old radio program, The News from the Camp House. It still airs every Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time on KULM 98.3 FM out of Columbus, Texas. The original intent was to relate outdoor topics to the general public. Immediately, it was found that all issues are relatable to the outdoors and that people are people. They all play a role and they all have a vested interest. It's this program's desire to answer common questions about how the world works, how it will operate in the future, and what's the holdup. So please listen, enjoy, and never hesitate to contact us with more questions and feedback. Good morning and welcome to this weekend's edition of News from the Camp House, the listening post to the Texas Sportsman Association. This is Herman Brune. This weekend's edition is also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club. Shaw's Bend Social Club. It's a country club for folks who don't have a country club. All right, tell you what. Here this weekend, we've got a young lady with us. She's going to tell us her story, Miss Rebecca Jones, right? Okay, Miss Rebecca Jones. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I am just so happy to be here sitting next to you.
Oh, well. All right. She's having fun. We're at the podcast summit down here in Garwood. A lot of interesting folks. This is your first year to the summit.
It is my first year to the summit, and I sort of look around the room and I feel like I'm in incredible company.
Well, we're having fun. It's all a bunch of good people. Everybody likes it. You've got the Wild Sheep Foundation here. You got the Peregrine Fund here. You got the Bighorn Society here. You've got people here that are working on pediatric cancer. You got all kinds of stuff. Now, we want your story.
Oh, my goodness. How far do you want to go back, Herman?
It's all, however, whatever you want to tell us.
Oh, my goodness. Well, sometimes I wondered how I got on the invite to the list for this weekend, it's just such an incredible group of people that are here. But I do have a little bit to do with some things going on in the outdoor industry. So I have a feeling that's why Derek thought that I might be a good addition. Right. But day to day, I'm an outdoors woman. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I love to be outdoors with my family. But sort of what I also do behind the scenes is I sit on a lot of conservation and advocacy boards, a couple of organizations you might know, and I sort of help navigate, but very much behind the scenes. That's what I prefer to be usually.
All right, and where do you live now?
So I'm actually up in Dallas, so Flower Mound up in North Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dallas by way of where?
Oh, because you can hear something in the accent, huh? It doesn't sound like a Dallas accent. Well, 15 years in Miami before that, but it also doesn't sound like a Miami accent either. So I'm actually from Australia.
All right, okay. And I know absolutely nothing about Australia.
Well, we have a cowboying culture over there too, although we call our cowboys jackaroos over there.
All right. Okay. Explain to me about Dallas. Explain to me what all you do.
Yeah. So in terms of a day-to-day job where I, actually, well, I'm kind of not in a day-to-day job at the moment. I'm in between, which is really nice. But usually what I do is I'm an executive in an organization that's either private or public or private equity owned. And I'm usually what's typically called the chief people officer. So my job is to sit on the executive team and help an organization grow through the management and support and nurturing of the most important asset in any company and any organization.
Personnel.
And it's the personnel, it's the people. So my job is to take care of the people in an organization. And so usually in any good company, the competitive advantage is its people. Okay. And so I help companies grow through managing their people. And so what's really been interesting, and I've worked in a lot of different industries. I was 10 years in the cruise ship industry. I was 9 years in the beauty industry. And most recently, I found myself in the outdoors industry. Very specifically, I worked for a company you might have heard of, Orvis. Okay. Yeah, fly fishing and wing shooting company based out of Vermont. And started to get very, very involved and very engaged in the outdoors through fishing and wing shooting sports specifically, but beautiful lifestyle brand. But that sort of really spilled over into how I wanted to spend my time and how I wanted to start giving back, in ways, because people have been so kind to me along the way as I'd learned to fish and hunt and be involved in the outdoors. And so I figured the best way to do that was to leverage my experiences in boardrooms and on executive teams helping navigate big change, policy and process and systems, and start applying that to different organizations in the outdoor space. Okay. So I now currently sit, I was just voted onto the board of directors for the Dallas Safari Club. Okay. I also sit on the board of directors for the Texas Wildlife Association.
Oh, we're doing it.
Yep, and I'm a board member for HerUpLand, which is an organization based out of Montana, actually, that gets women and girls outdoors wing shooting and hunting, bird hunting with their dogs. Okay. So I'm very involved and engaged in the outdoors, cool. but not in a way that's sort of my day-to-day reliance on income. I'm really sort of doing this because it's time for me to start giving back in a way that supports advocacy and conservation, but education is really where I am trying to lend my expertise to these organizations.
Yeah, because none of these sound like paying jobs.
None of them are. None.
Yeah.
They're not. But you know what? It means I end up in really, really neat places, though, like this, where I do get to talk to people about the work and what we're trying to do to help move the organization forward. But yeah, I don't get paid for it.
Right. Boy, DSC and women hunt a month for, and but it don't pay nothing. Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah. No, but it's instrumental. It's in the conservation industry and the outdoor industry. All these things are so instrumental. And bringing that skill of finding the right people to put in the right jobs, that's part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's it. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways to help with conservation, and some people it's as simple as buying a license, right? And that's funding your dollars to at least buying a license. For other people, it's participation looks different. And so in my case, I buy the license, I put my money where the mouth is, certainly. Mm-hmm. But also most of these organizations only exist and are able to do the work that they do because of the volunteers, mm-hmm. The staff members. All of these orgs have paid staff members, of course, but where the incredible amount of work that gets done is through the volunteers and the members that are in each of these organizations. And so that's where I hope to help in terms of making sure we've got member engagement, good communication, and sort of helping these volunteers and members continue to feel connected to what the mission is. So they want to keep turning up. They want to keep giving their time and support and dollars to be able to fund these organizations, which will then go and do really great work. Yeah, who do the conservation work.
All right. Okay. This, so often we get off into these conversations. Greg Thornton and I got into this a while ago. Yep. and or earlier, and yeah, the messaging is so okay. For starters, let me explain. I'm chairman of the board for the Texas Outdoor Writers Association. All right, I had to do a whole bunch of soul searching and really figure out how to define the purposes. The elephant in the room was, what the hell are you good for? And we figured out we were good for our networking. That's the whole purpose of a writers organization. We also knew that we support and advocate North American wildlife conservation model. And with all this, people have to discern messaging, how to present their messaging so that the sales and marketing works, so that sales and marketing is effective. But the messaging is the biggest part of it. And I have always advocated for teaching. I always asked all these groups, do you believe in the North American wildlife conservation model? Every one of them goes, yeah, we're all about it. And I'm going, how come I don't see that in none of your material? I want to see that name in your material. I said, now here's the deal. You have to, when you're recruiting people, when you're talking to people, when you're doing stuff, the way to do that is you look at them and go, you are the reason wildlife is here, because you support the 1937 conservation model. And let me explain how you do that. And then you make them feel like they're a part of it already. Okay, I'm speaking your language.
You're speaking my language. I love to hear that. Yes, because it doesn't matter if you're a for-profit or a non-profit organization. People want purpose.
Yes. All right. And if you're a hunter, a fisherman, outdoorsman, enjoy the outdoors, anything, you're already supporting it.
You are. That's exactly it. It's right there, right in front of us.
All right. And that's one of the things we always said on here. Please belong to some hunting and fishing based conservation group. They all have political advocacy and lobbyists and all kinds of stuff up there doing the job for you. If you belong to one of these groups, you're supporting wildlife conservation, and it helps. It damn sure helps, and we need it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think a really important lens when you're thinking about it is not to be comparing organizations against each other at all, because the voice of the hunter or the fisherman or the outdoors person needs to be connected and aligned. We have to be united with the ultimate purpose, what we just mentioned. And so when you're picking your organization, make it personally relevant to you. I mean, pick something that really kind of floats your boat, right? Gets you excited to be out there. But we got to remember that we're all sort of very much pushing forward for the same purpose and goal at the end of the day. And that's important, that we stay united.
All right, tell you what, let's take a quick break and thank the folks who let us come on here every Saturday morning. We'll be right back. Thank goodness for all the great sponsors we have here at News from the Camp House. HEB Food Stores, that's Stephen Tice at HEB. He helps me, he helps the community, he's a great man. I'm so thankful HEB loosened him up, lets him go around and sponsor a few things. HEB's got all your food needs. It's the greatest food store we got here in Columbus. Thank goodness for HEB. First State Bank, you go over to the First State Bank, they'll take care of all your loans, all your deposits, your savings, anything you need. Bunch of great hometown people over there. You got Celia Tobias, John Pollock, everybody over there is looking out for you. Miss Barbara Barta. It's a great bunch of folks at the First State Bank is also sponsoring News from the Camp House. First State Bank takes care of all my business. Baumgart Agency, Susan Baumgart at the Baumgart Agencies, her and Germania. She told me to plug Germania. Germania is an insurance that she likes everybody to know about. The Baumgart Agencies. Miss Susan and I are classmates, been classmates. She got me out of high school, sat right beside her, put us in alphabetical order where I could copy. And Susan Baumgart over at the Baumgart Agency, taking care of all your insurance needs. Lyco Realty, one of the original sponsors of News from the Camp House. Lyco Realty, the oldest real estate company in the county, and for the last 3 years voted the favorite realtor in the county. Lyco Realty, that's Miss Kimberly Johnson. That's Crockett's granddaughter. More kinfolks and classmates and great people from Colorado County. People from Colorado County helping people from Colorado County. That's great. Oh, thank goodness for all these wonderful people come to me want to be sponsors for News from the Camp House. Good morning and welcome to the second half of this week's News from the Camp House. Tell you what, we're here this morning with Ms. Rebecca Jones, who is on multiple board of directors for multiple conservation groups. Expertise lies in personnel, finding the right person for the right job. And that's remarkable. How many of us hire duds and then need somebody, wind up hiring a dud and then, you're just throwing money away and you got to go find somebody else. But you put a plug in all that.
Oh my goodness! I wish that there was the easiest answer on that. Nobody ever goes out and hires somebody thinking they're going to be a dud, and no one ever turns up. I mean, maybe there are some people that turn up thinking, "Ha ha ha, suckers, I got them." But for the most part, when you hire somebody to join you in your company, you're really really rooting for them to be really great. And
right now we're seeing it. They're getting rid of about 80% of DC, so they're cleaning Washington out. We're getting rid of all the duds.
Oh my goodness! We're not. We want to go down that path. Holy moly! I will say this as someone who's been through a lot of organizations and done organizational redesign. There is a really right way to treat people. And I think that's the big thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Change is important and challenging the status quo is important, but there is always a way that people should be treated, and it should be with respect and it should be with courtesy. And so that's something I'm going to push right on in there.
All right. Yeah, but go ahead. I'll tell you what I really want to know about was, okay, you said you're on DSC board and which other one?
Texas Wildlife Association.
TWA.
Yeah, TWA and HerUpLand.
Okay. What?
HerUpLand.
HerUpLand. Okay, yes, that's the Montana one. Yes, no. Okay, so we're on 3 different boards. Roughly the same job on each board?
Yeah, so as a yes, and at the end of the day, the board of directors is there to make sure that good, smart decisions are being made by the management team, that the interests of the members and the volunteers or exhibitors or whatever it is the right thing is being done and the funds are being used properly. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility for boards to be operating in the background to make sure that happens. But then my role might adjust a little bit on each of these. And the TWA is a great example because I'm also sitting on the convention committee. So a lot of the boards will have different committees as well that the directors and various volunteers will get involved in. So you probably know this year's the 40th anniversary of Texas Wildlife Association. And so we do a really big convention in July. And so I'm on the committee that's helping put that convention together this year and making it one of our biggest and best.
Cool. Yes, I've been to that TWA convention. I hadn't been in a while. I'd like to go again. It is, okay, TWA is a little bit different animal than DSC.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. It very much is in terms of, there's a lot of overlap, actually. There is a lot of overlap, but I guess the genesis of the organizations are a little different and the origins too. But at the end of the day, conservation and advocacy for either landowners' rights or hunters' rights or wildlife, the goals overlap and are very similar.
Right. There's a lot of overlap. The TWA, I think, and I don't know, I might be wrong. DSC, you see them a little more internationally, I think. Whereas TWA is more localized.
Very Texas focused, yeah, right. For sure.
And then I think TWA, with their game awards, big game awards, I think that's a little bit more accentuated than DSC's, I think.
A little, and again, I would say it's a geographical focus, probably more so. Texas Wildlife Association really focuses on Texas and what goes on here at the state. So the advocacy is much more focused on Texas. So when we go to the Capitol, we're going to the Capitol in Austin. Right. When we're joining we're just recently there at the 89th legislature and talking to lawmakers there. But the focus was on Texas.
Right.
And so, there's great advocacy work being done there. The other thing that I think that TWA does extremely well is hunter education, or this focus on hunter heritage. Mm-hmm. And so the education that happens, whether it's in the schools, they do these incredible discovery kits that teachers can have.
Curriculum.
Yeah, they've got curriculum, exactly. Yes. Incredible educators. They have the Texas Youth Hunting Program, which has brought, I think, tens of thousands of kids really into the hunting space. And they have an adult education program, which is the Adult Learn to Hunt program, which I actually went through. I shot my first big game animal through the TWA Adult Learn to Hunt program, and have since become a mentor in that program, and have gone out and helped somebody else take their first whitetail.
Oh, okay.
So, the education side, which I think is very smart of the organization. One of the ways to continue to get members is to make sure you've got members who are participating. I think a more active, engaged member is a member who sees a way to participate, whether it's through hunting or education, coming to the conventions. And I think that's where there's a lot of similarities too with DSC. In that, the more engaged the membership base is, whether they are exhibitors, whether they're participating in the local chapters. DSC has 23 chapters based all around the U.S., but they really encourage participation, and I think that's important. I think you can be an observer and contribute, but I think if you're a participant, you're taking your contribution just that little bit further, and you're a little bit more vested in the outcome.
Okay. All right. No, I absolutely believe that's correct. And then the HerUpLand?
Yeah.
That's where you teach ladies to go out and sick dogs on a little bitty bird and blast him when he...
Do you know how delicious those little bitty birds are?
I used to pick on those quail hunters down in Mexico so bad, because they kind of carried their nose in the air. And then I'd tell them, I said, well, I just don't see it. You drive around in a vehicle with the dogs on the front, and when you spot them little bitty old chee-chee birds, I said, you sick the dogs on them, and then you blast them with a 12 gauge. I think poor little birds ain't got a chance. And they
Have you met half the hunters out there? Those shotgun shooters. There's a lot of point and release that goes on with those birds too. Trust me.
I just would do that just to be hateful to them fellas that came down there to shoot quail. Because you stick your nose up in there, I'm gonna find a way to pick on you.
You gotta keep those people on their toes. I love it. But HerUpLand does it. It focuses on getting women and girls outside. Number one, get outside. Let's start there. But it teaches them how to confidently and independently bird hunt with their own dog, and in most cases on public land. Mm-hmm. So we put on dog training camps. So if you have a dog, you've somehow managed to decide that you have a pointing dog, and you're trying to figure out how to train that dog, you could send it to a trainer, or you could also come to one of the camps that we put on, and we teach you how to...
Where at in Montana?
So they're the camps are held all over. So we hold a grouse camp and up in just outside of Missoula in Montana, okay. But we also have pointing dog camps up in Montana as well. You see, I should have the full list etched in my brain, but we actually have a couple of these all over the country. So we don't just hold them in Montana; we actually hold them in other states as well across the. Well,
that's what I was wondering about, because all your dog stuff. I mean, that's all the way from here to there. Yeah. Everybody does that.
No, absolutely. And we do hunting camps as well, where you can come into camp, you learn how to hunt, and you can bring your dog as well. So we do a quail camp down in Arizona. So you come along to camp. We hold that just north of Phoenix, and you come into camp. We're on public land, and you bring your dog, and we're going to teach you how to hunt quail, and you're going to go out there and get after it. And so that's the sort of, focus that we have. And we're fundraising to be able to make it really affordable for people, because upland hunting can get very expensive and very inaccessible very quickly.
Oh.
So we try to fundraise so that we can offer these camps, whether it's the dog training or the hunting camps, at really affordable prices. We've been able to keep them under $1,000 for 4 to 5 days worth of camps, which is incredible.
Yes.
But we're also, teaching them how to do this on public land too, which is really neat, to be able to take advantage of these resources that are available to all of us.
Cool. No, this is all good stuff. This is all good stuff. And of course, like we're saying, you're doing it for free.
Doing all of this for free. Because I love it. I love it.
There you go. Rebecca, we're out of time this morning, but I really appreciate you being with me and my listeners.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure being here with you. Thank you.
All right. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it this morning. Interesting topic. Hope you learned something. This week's edition was also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club, country club folks who don't have a country club. Now, go out, enjoy the weekend, have a big time, have lots of fun. Be safe, and y'all just remember, pretty much any day is sure a good day to be out in the woods.